Hey, it's your girl, Germaine, with another G Spot Experience coffee break. So, I hope you're all doing good. Today's a great day. It's hump day, midweek. Today is Tuesday, right? It is. Sometimes my days get thrown off. But I'm excited about today's coffee brew. And I hope it's something that will resonate with you. Today's coffee brew is doing the right thing when nobody is looking. Is that you? Are you that person? I'm gonna give it a few moments so we can get into it. Waiting for a few people to just chime in. And when you chime on, just let me know in the comments that you're here with me when you chime in. All right. So, I was just a little backstory to this message today actually came as confirmation. I was in conference this morning, just having a wonderful conversation with a really dear friend of mine. And in his sharing, I don't know, this just really hit me. He is that person doing the right thing when nobody is looking. He's not here for the accolades, he's not here for all that. He just has a heart of gold, and that's exactly what he does. He's just being who he is. And so I thought this topic would be a great topic to share because you know how we do. We take a pause, we pour in a purpose. So, however, this message may hit you today, if you find yourself in the message, if not, hey, it's for somebody. I know it was for me, so I'll be the first partaker of it. So, like I said, I don't want to hold you long because I've been really going over on these coffee breaks, and I so do apologize. But it's been so good. And at any point, if your coffee break is over, just jump off and then just play the replay, okay? But today I am drinking my coffee, and I need to put my top on it. Hold on. It's so good. All right. So here we are. Let's dive right into this, okay? Doing the right thing when nobody is looking. Character isn't built in crowds. It's built in quiet corners. When I was going through and really putting this together, and you know me, I always have my notes right on the side because I don't want to miss out on anything, right? When I was going through thinking about this message, it just brought me back to why I always operated in the background. I am a firm believer that your work will speak for you. So I don't need the crowds to give me accolades. I don't need, it's nice. And you want to be acknowledged for the work that you do. But I don't know, I always just gravitated to the back because I just felt like more can get done in the background. They ain't need to know my name. They ain't need to know who I was. It was about the work. And so that's why I think I struggle also coming to the forefront, stepping out and coming into the forefront. Because now it's like all that has to be seen. And then, I didn't want it to get in my head that what are people gonna say? Which I didn't let it get in my head. That's why it took me so long to start doing these lives. What are people gonna say? How are people gonna feel? Do I really want to deal with all that? And then I had to realize, and we're going to talk about it in this message, it's better to be obedient. So here I am. But let me not get caught up in my story. It's easy for me to relate to a lot of my topics. That's why they're coming forth to you. So, but I want to get into this. Character isn't built in crowds, it's built in quiet corners. So in today's brew, it's going to be steeped in truth and integrity. It's easy to make the right decisions when people are watching. And if this resonates with you, just shout out in the comments and let me know. Let me really know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any situations or if you have your own personal experiences. Share with the community. And then we'll also bring it to our new segment that we're going to be incorporating called Mixed Blends, which it talks about you. Okay. But let me get into this because I think it's really good. And I think some people may struggle with this or some people may live for this, whichever plays a part in your life. Not saying is right or wrong. That's not my purpose. That's not my, me to judge anybody. I just know that I find myself in these messages, and I hope maybe you'll find you somewhere. And so in these in these coffee breaks. But getting back, so today's brew is going to be steeped in truth and integrity. It's easy to make the right decisions when people are watching, when applause is possible, when recognition is accepted or expected, excuse me, expected. But the real test of who we are happens in the shadows, in those unseen moments where we choose between convenience and conviction. Doing the right thing when nobody is looking means refusing to cut corners, staying faithful to your words, walking away from gossip, and holding yourself accountable, even when there's no one around to see or to validate you. That word validate. Let's talk about it. Do you live for validation? Do you need to be validated to know that it's good? That people see me. Are you that person that lives for that? And when it doesn't come, you're disappointed, you're upset, you take it out on others, you may not know how to function, you may be off balance. Does it really affect your peace when nobody sees the accomplishments you have achieved or the things you have done? Now, let's be honest, we're wrapped in this flesh, right? And this flesh wants what the flesh wants. We know that. But have you come to a place of peace in knowing that it's okay if I don't get that from people, because I know who really sees it and who really ordained it to be? So let's talk a little further. um, so the integrity. It's integrity when you can do those things not to get the applause, not to seek the approval, not to be validated. You do it because it's genuinely the right thing to do when nobody's looking. That's spiritual maturity. And you're settled and you're at peace with it. Okay? And also keep in mind, that's leadership also. You don't live for that. You don't live for the applause. You don't live for the accolades. You don't live for. So keep that in mind, and just kind of do an inventory check of yourself. Are you someone that do the right things when people are looking? And because you need that feeds you. Be honest with yourself. If that is who you are, then you know what? Own it, walk in the authority of it, and be right. But if that's something that you're challenged with and you want to work on, and you don't want that to be why you are who you are, right? Then you know what? Work on it. Start building self up to know that it's not about what people say. Now, and keep in mind, because when you think about even the media will build you up. You become this big, tight, this, superstar, we'll say, right? The minute you do something wrong, guess what happens? That same media will tear you down. So it's like a false sense of reality, in a sense. So is that what you really want? Can you be okay not having that? That's what this message is about. Are you okay doing the right thing when nobody's looking? Um, and being okay with oneself. Hey, that's for you to decide, not me. I can only speak for me. So remember, excuse me. Listen, let me sip on my coffee. You got what you drinking? Your coffee, your tea, your juice, your listen, your smoothies. You got your okay. That is so good. My coffee today is super good. All right, let me get back to this. So remember, you're not alone in those moments, okay? Guess who sees you? One guess. And where am I? For those that are here, just let me know. Just put in the comments that you're here. So I know you're here. I just want to say hi. All right. And so if you are someone and you're not sure who sees you, hey Tunisia, hey. Hibiscus tea for me. I gotta try that. Okay. All right. So all the way from Georgia, my sister from Georgia. All right. So if you are someone and you're not sure who really sees all that you do, guess who sees? God sees all, knows all. And hopefully you're being obedient to him when you are doing the right thing when nobody's looking, right? Okay. So, and more importantly, with him being the one that sees you, he honors the decisions made in private that reflect a heart aligned with him. Hmm. So today, I'm going to give you a few challenges, right? I'm gonna give you a few challenges. Choose right over easy. Choose truth over trend. Ooh, these are heavy, right? You feel the weight on these? Choose purpose over popularity. Because it's not about who sees you. It's not because you think somebody else is in a better position than you are. Hey, Anthony Jones on my Instagram feed. It is not about just because you see that somebody may be where you want to be. And so you feel like you have to, you know, choose what's easy over right or choose what's trending over truth or even popularity over purpose. So I want you to be mindful that as you're moving forward, that's interesting. I'm sorry because you know what? Confirmation. Tanisha says, I just had this conversation yesterday. See how it's just a confirmation back for you. All in alignment when you're doing what he's purposed you to do, right? So I'm glad this tea for you and this brew for me. I'm glad it's, doing just that. Because I was just sharing earlier, if you didn't hear that, I was on a conversation this morning and it really confirmed why this was the message for the day. So but I want you to just remain truthful to you, being obedient to him. There's something else too that I want to share. That sometimes I think we may forget. And I'm just going back through my notes because I really don't want to miss out on it. And so, hold on, here it is. Let me okay. So pretty much um your integrity matters more than your influence. Your private yes holds more power than your public applause. So here's a few more things just for you to consider, right? Keep your word, honor your values, and lead with integrity, even if no one claps for you. Mm, pretty much that's my message for today. That is my message for the day. Doing the right thing when nobody is looking. So, you know how we close out, right? Because I'm coming to a close. If there's any questions, any comments, anything, now is the time because, I always tell you sit slow, walk upright, and do it for purpose, not praise. Don't rob him of his praise, okay? All right. So, guess what, guys? I stayed within 15 minutes on this message today. So I hope all is well. Please make sure I put it in the descriptions to make sure if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are trying to get to 10,000 by the end of August. Hopefully we can make that happen. But subscribe. I'm having fun because I decided to say yes to God, to be obedient to doing these coffee breaks. I prayed about it. I asked God, how should I show up? Because I was having these experiences I was having these experiences in one-on-one conversations, just through my journey in life with connections and with new relationships and older relationships and colleagues and I just said, God, how do we bring this to the community? How does it show up? And you know what? Here we are in a coffee break, and how many people don't like taking coffee breaks while they're at work or just taking a break? Um, and that's how we're showing up. The G spot experience. My name may start with a G, but I have to be honest. It is definitely a God experience. And that's sometimes what we have. And I call it up, just had a G spot experience moment. So thank you for just chiming in. Hopefully, I hope you find value in this. I'm having fun with this. I thought it was gonna be harder than I realized. And you know what? I was making it hard because I didn't want to show up. I didn't want to show up because I was so concerned about how it was going to be received. And then you know what? God quickly helped me with that as I'm going through even the messages that's coming forward through these coffee brews. And so here we are. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I just want to be obedient to him because at the end of the day, that's really what matters. Okay. And so, but I definitely want your feedback and stuff, like I mentioned before, and I'm just going to wrap up with these minor announcements. But as I mentioned before, I want to really bring the community into the conversation. I want to be able to hear if any of the coffee breaks resonate with you and you have a story, you have, something you want to share. I want to bring on Tuesdays. So we're developing this right now, but I want to bring on Tuesdays. For the coffee break, I want to call the segment Mixed Blends. Mixed Blends is your stories. It just like Tanisha, just like you said, you just had this conversation yesterday with someone. I want to bring you in as a guest. Let's talk about it. And sometimes it may be roundtable discussion. It may be more people in studio that we can actually talk about some of the topics. So that's something that I am gonna, finalize everything so we can put it out so people can just sign up if they want to come in, be a part of a discussion, and um, and hey, we'll chop it up while we sip coffee or sip on tea, drink coffee, but the blend will be good. All right, and don't forget on Fridays. Fridays is Authors Brew Friday. Whereas we bring an author in the studio, even if you may not be an author just yet, but that is your desire to be an author and you want to just talk about your book, you want to talk about it coming to life. Um, let's talk about it. All right. So thank you. Your obedience is what is waking us up. Continue blessings to you, Germaine. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. And on that note, I did run over 3 minutes, but here we go. We're going to come bring this coffee brew to an end. So remember, sip slow, walk upright, and do it for purpose, not for praise. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow in the new coffee brew. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.